Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this educational video where today we're going to be discussing corrective waves of the Elliot wave theory. Without further ado, let's get started. After an impulsive wave or the completion of a motive phase, we get a correction. And in a correction, this is when price consolidates or ranges for hours, days, weeks, or even months. It is here where banks accumulate volume to drive price in the main market trend. For today, we're only going to be discussing simple corrections which come in the form of A, B, C and W, X, Y. In this particular scenario which I have drawn up in front of you guys, the main market trend is bearish, we get a correction and then we continue bearish again. This is the ideology here. The main difference between an ABC correction and a WXY correction is that the subwaves of A, C, and W and Y differ from each other. In an ABC correction, you can see that wave A and C have 5 subwaves, and these 5 subwaves come in the form of wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is discussed in the impulsive wave of the motive phase part of the Elliot theory. In a WXY correction, wave W and Y only have 3 subwaves. So easy way to remember is that if you sense that the correction is an ABC, then you should see 5 subwaves in A and C. But if you think that the correction is a WXY correction, then you should see 3 subwaves only in wave W and Y. That's a good way to distinguish between is it either an ABC correction or a WXY correction. Although it is not exactly required for you to know which correction is forming, it is a good idea to analyze market structure and market behavior in order to find important areas and zones which you can take advantage of. As you can see, wherever you see consolidations or corrections, these are important areas or zones because this is where banks accumulate a lot of volume in order to drive price down or up depending on what the market trend is currently. Also, corrections are important because these are the types of market conditions that you want to stay out from because A, you will not get a good risk to reward ratio oftentimes, and B, it is where you will often see your stop losses getting hit. Therefore, it is important to identify where corrections are happening and if price is currently correcting because this gives you an idea of market behavior and current market sentiment. In order to get a better picture on what corrections look like, how market behaves during a correction, and how to label corrections, I'm going to be switching over to some real-time charts where I can show you how things go. As our first example, I have pulled up GBP USD on the chart. The first thing that you should notice is that our initial move was a bullish impulse and then we got a correction down which didn't break the previous swing low. And if you remember the rules for an impulsive wave, the number 1 rule was that wave 2 cannot cross the beginning of wave 1. And here we are meeting that condition. Therefore, I am anticipating that market has formed wave 1, respected the rules for wave 2, and now we're on our way to form wave 3 where we're going to be breaking the previous swing high of wave 1. If you take a look at wave 2, I have labeled the correction as a WXY correction instead of an ABC correction. Why is this, you may ask? Well, as you can see, wave W was a very complex wave and it didn't have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive wave structure. And second of all, wave Y only had one consolidation phase. And if you remember what I said previously, that if wave W and Y only have 3 subwaves, we can expect this to be a WXY correction instead of an ABC correction. Also, another important point to note is that if you are seeing that the correction has very complex subwaves, it is a good indication that it is a WXY correction. In summary, for GBP USD in current market conditions, we had number 1 a bullish wave, number 2 a correction which did not break the beginning of wave 1, and now price is forming wave 3 to form another new high. Now let's move on to our next example, GBP JPY. Here we have it, GBP JPY, and the first thing you might notice is that the structure is similar to what we saw earlier on GBP USD, but why did I label this as an ABC correction instead of a WXY correction? Well, if you pay close attention, you can see that wave A is not as complex as what we saw in wave W for GBP USD. Here's the comparison. As you can see, wave A here is cleaner than what we saw over here as wave W. Next, instead of 3 subwaves for wave X we saw earlier, In this scenario, I am seeing two consolidation phases, which I expect to be wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, price consolidates for a little bit, drops down, price consolidates again, and makes another low. Therefore, this marks 5 subwaves instead of 3 subwaves, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which makes wave C. Because if you check GBP USD, we only had wave 1, 2, 3. 3 total subwaves instead of 5 total subwaves, which is why I think that this is an ABC correction instead of a WXY correction. Here, another main thing to notice is that we had wave 1, a bullish impulse, and then wave 2, a bearish correction. Wave 2 did not break the low or beginning of wave 1, and now we're expecting price to make another high to form wave 3. As long as price stays above our invalidation level, we can anticipate that price will make another new high to form wave 3 and continue bullish from there on. Well, I hope that this video gives you a better understanding on corrective waves, clears any confusion, and answers your questions and concerns that you had previously before watching this video. However, if you still have questions, please do message me privately on Telegram, as I will be better able to help you and clear any confusion you may still have. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye bye.